verse 15, supplement to 40 verses on reality, ulladhu narpadhu anubandam given to us by Sri Ramana Maharshi. சக்தியினால் தாம் இயங்கும் தன்மை உணராது அகில சித்திகள் நாம் சேர்வம் எனச்சேஷ்டிக்கும் பித்தர் கூத்து என்னை எழுப்புவிடில் எம்மட்டாம் இத்தல்வர் எனச் சொன்ன முடவன் கதையின் சோடு. Sri Bhagavan is talking about now those within quotes mad people, those deranged people, those deluded people, those fanatical people who seek occult powers. They somehow come to understand that through the yogic practices one can gain power to get things done with the help of supernatural powers. You can convert a stone into gold, and you can impact others' lives through the utterance of mantras. You can spoil somebody's life. You can even through the utterance of mantra, you can kill somebody else. All these are existing occult practices. They are negative, unhelpful. Sri Bhagavan just dismisses everything as undesirable because it will lead to bondage. In this verse he says, Shaktinal tham yengum tanme unaradu. Without realizing the truth that you are functioning or anyone is functioning because of the power of Brahman, because of the power of God, Ishvara or Brahman. If someone says, I want to acquire all the occult powers, it is equal to a lame person saying, you just get me on my feet, I will take care of all these enemies. First of all, he cannot stand up himself. His both legs are lame. He says, just get me on my feet, then I will fight all these enemies. It is like that, he says. First of all, you learn to stand. First of all, you learn and know your true nature, Sri Bhagavan says. Without it, you think you can acquire powers. No. Sri Bhagavan says there is only one power. There is only one power, which is the power of Brahman. That's all. Or in dualistic language, it is the power of God, Ishvara, the creator of the universe. So, everything happens according to the prarabdha karma in an individual. Prarabdha karma is simply the stored memory of the past good deeds or bad deeds. That's all. And one functions according to the memory. The memory forms a very strong force and it takes over your life at some point in your life and then starts governing the direction in which you'll move. For example, if you had been a great devotee for n number of births, if you had practiced devotion to God, a personal God, there is every chance that you would be pursuing the same path in this lifetime too. You cannot escape. The memory is too powerful. Prarabdha karma is just, the karma that we have brought about in our suitcase, mental suitcase. That's all. Or it is a file that we carry in our mental laptop. It impacts your life. It governs your life. And that system has been set in motion by the highest power, the only power, that is Brahman or Ishvara. Call it whatever. So you are not an independent person trying to create realities. In the larger matrix, you are a tiny dot, I am a tiny dot. We seem to have free will. Sri Bhagavan says, at the time of your conception in your mother's womb, everything has been determined. The way this body will live and die, the things that it will suffer and enjoy, everything has been predetermined and you cannot escape this, he says. So the higher power through a mechanism has already determined your life. If at all there is freedom, Sri Bhagavan says there is freedom for free will for only one thing, That is just to inquire, am I this body? Who am I? Yes, there is free will. By application of this free will, by doing Atma Vicharam, we can escape the net, the prison of the cycle of birth and death. That is what he says. So, people have a lot of psychological perspectives. They think that the whole universe exists without a cause. That is atheism or agnosticism, whatever it is. The Jnani, Ramana Maharishi, the Jnani who realized the truth, he says everything is happening because of the power of Brahman. There is only one power. What about the powers wielded by all individuals? We can say that power subdivides itself into, innumerable human beings' power. You can look at it that way. Because generally, to avoid kartrutvam, the sense of doership, Sri Bhagavan always says, know that one higher power is doing, making use of you as an instrument. If you know this sense of doership will go. Because you think you exist independent of Brahman, independent of Ishvara, independent of the higher power, and you can function independently. This is false. Because at the time of death, when the body is going to fall off, who are you? A question will arise. Who am I? Now that I am going to shed the body in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, who am I? The powerful individual that I thought myself to be, am I going to continue? No, the body will die. Then who am I? Something must be left behind. Otherwise, there is no talk of spirituality at all. It is that one Brahman which masquerades as all the 7.5 billion people, all the animals, all the planets, all the 5 elements, etc. It is the play of that only one Brahman, which is the only power. Then what are we? Are we really puppets? Looks like, yes. But if we do Vicharam, Atma Vicharam, self-inquiry, and you liberate yourself from the clutches of the grip of karma, then you are free. You are never born. You will realize you will never die. You are total. You pervade everything, percolate everything, and still remain untouched. That is the description of Brahman. That is your inner nature, my inner nature, which is already functioning. In the daytime, the sun is shining forth in full brightness. A cloud comes, it veils it. It does not mean the sun has disappeared. The same way, this bodily sense of I, this I am the doer, I am an individual, this sense puts up a strong veil. And through Vicharam, this ego has to subside. Unless the ego subsides, we cannot realize our true nature, that we are Brahman, the vast, formless, infinite, and all-pervading Brahman. Here he discourages all desire to acquire powers, spiritual powers, because you need an ego in order to do that. Without retaining your bodily sense of I, you cannot get into this process of uttering mantra, acquiring powers, displaying powers, wielding powers. All this cannot be done without retaining the ego. Whereas Sri Bhagavan says self-realization is all about dissolving the river of the ego, or merging the river of the ego into the ocean of the self. So, it is diametrically opposite. The desire to have powers, spiritual powers, is diametrically opposite to realization. On the way, on the spiritual path, when people practice pranayama, it is said sometimes they acquire spiritual powers incidentally. He says ignore them. Never get into it. Never encourage them. Because it will put you in bondage for several more births. So one has to be wary. One has to be honest to oneself. What is it that I am seeking? If it is total self-realization, then I should not get carried away by manifestation. Something may come up, some good things may come up because of the previous previous birth, vasanas. Good things may manifest, but we should not still lose our focus on what is it that we are aiming at. We are aiming at self-realization. My true nature, your true nature. Because Sri Bhagavan says, when you utter the word I, its meaning is Brahman, he says. Its meaning is not your body or my body, he says very clearly. So, we should not get into the desire of acquiring powers. Sometimes when we are beaten in life, sometimes we are deprived in life, sometimes when we are in poverty, we do get a tendency, oh, if I do spiritual practices, how will it be if I got wealth, if I got name, fame, etc. The whole game of spirituality, Advaita Vedanta, is all about destruction of the personality, not retention of the personality. It is all about dissolving the personality, not nurturing the personality. The truth is like this: Ahandai undayin, anaitum undagum, Ahandai indrel, indru anaitum visa. If ego is there, everything comes into your experience. If ego is not there, nothing is there in your experience except pure Brahman, pure awareness, pure existence, consciousness, bliss. So let us think about this.